I don't know who's putting more belt to ass right now. Matt McMahon, after Verge Ellsbury, said if he don't make the tournament, we might need to reevaluate things. As right now they're whipping up on that candy ass on the Kentucky Wildcats, or if it's Lane Kiffin in the portal. Holy cow. I knew when LSU brought in Lane Kiffin that a couple of things were going to be very true. That number one, offensively, that you were going to dominate at a high level, that you were going to take this to heights that maybe that we have not seen offensively since 2019. But I also knew that the fire in his belly and the things that he did in the portal and with the alignment and things that you were going to do in recruiting would be amazing. I know, number two, that you were going to have a lot of fun, that this was going to be high flying. You were going to be every single day, every single week, every single month, 365. You were going to be national news and bringing in Lane Kiffin. Well, that has been what has come to pass. But number three, what I thought you were going to get was a guy that would go all in and dominate in the portal and dominate in the recruiting, and that's exactly what he's doing. He's not taking no for an answer. You know, the number 1 and number 5 quarterbacks in the portal, if you would have told me, though, that Lane Kiffin would go out in the transfer portal and not only get the number 1 player in the portal, but the number 1 quarterback and the number 5 quarterback, I might have called you crazy. Both of those quarterbacks not going to Ole Miss. Well, they're coming in with Lane Kiffin. So who is the real portal king? I thought Pete Golding was the one. That was the reason that he did all of this. Clearly, it was not. And, you know, it's funny because now no one has anything to say. You know, 2.5 weeks ago, we came out on the show and I said, listen, when this portal opens and LSU starts putting belt to ass in the transfer portal, all the narratives that surround Lane Kiffin, oh, he left the playoff team. Oh, my God, his coaches. Oh, my God. Oh. And you started going in the portal and landing and dominating and being and having the number 1 portal class, was no one going to say anything to you? When you land Sam Levitt and you land Husan Longstreet, and boy, they want to be your friend again. They want to hop back on the train. There ain't no more room. There's no room for you haters of 2.5, 3 weeks ago. What there is you saying that this is what the real LSU looks like. This is what it's supposed to look like. You're supposed to go out there, and when other teams are trying to take something that you want, you say, yeah, we're just not going to be denied because we have a really freaking good head coach that's going to recruit his ass off, and you got the money to do it. And LSU pulls off the inevitable. No. Not the inevitable. LSU pulls off the unthinkable. Being able to go out in the transfer portal and land Sam Levitt, being able to go out in the portal and land Hassan Longstreet, being able to go out in the portal and do what you're doing at wide receiver, going out in the portal and what my opinion is, getting the steal of the portal at safety and Ty Benefield, going out in the portal and getting experienced defensive linemen, going out there and getting a former 5-star at edge. And then what you've already got returning at corner, what you have returning and what you built at safety. Now, you got some things that you got to do along the offensive line, but you retained Trey Green. You retained Harlem Berry. You retained Caden Durham. And you brought in a really good back in Dylan Jones. Now I start looking at all of this and saying, guys, what is the real expectations in year one when year one's not even what I judge what Lane Kiffin's going to be here? I'm sure that he would tweet out rat poison. You know what the rat poison is? Is everybody thinking that he wouldn't come in here and start putting belt to ass, in which what he did today when he went out there and they announced the signing of Hassan Longstreet. So much has been made. So much has been made about Lane Kiffin doing this, Lane Kiffin doing that. None bigger, that is a massive storyline today, than this whole Ty Simpson thing. In case you missed it, Ty Simpson had an interview with Chris Love on 3. And in that interview, he was talking about him going to the draft and teams like Ole Miss and Tennessee and Miami talking to him. Well, Tennessee and Miami were after Sam Levitt, and Miami was trying to make a push for Husan Longstreet here at the end, and they lockered. Lane Kiffin lockered them twice on Sam Levitt and Hassan Longstreet. But they blamed Lane Kiffin for a week with this whole Ty Simpson thing when he wasn't even involved. And then you have I mean this with all due disrespect, the dumbest fan base on planet Earth and the Ole Miss Rebel fan base coming out here and saying, Lane Kiffin was the one who told Ty Simpson to say that. What? How? Please tell me how Lane Kiffin was able to tell Ty Simpson to tell Chris Lowe that Ole Miss, Tennessee, and Miami were the ones tampering with him and recruiting him, and all of a sudden, LSU's just not even in the mix? But Lane Kiffin got him to do that. Please tell me how. They are by far the dumbest fan base on planet Earth. Deuce Knight, what's up? Did Pete Golding and company, did Austin Thomas lie to you? Did he lie to you? Trinidad Chambliss, I thought that they were fighting your legal case, and they were behind you 100%. Maury Williams, I thought Miami was behind you 100%. George McIntyre, FaZe and Brandon, I thought that they all were behind you 100%. You know, the funny thing in all of this is that people talk about loyalty. Oh, Lane wasn't loyal. He's not loyal. Were you telling Deuce Knight that you were trying to get Ty Simpson over him? Did you tell Trinidad Chambliss that you needed to do this just in case that he lost? If you're Miami, did you tell Williams that, yeah, we think you're okay, but it's Ty Simpson, and we're going to give him $6.5 million to come to Miami? If you're Josh Heupel, you got George McIntyre and FaZe and Brandon that's coming in. Were you loyal to them? See, everybody keeps talking about loyalty from these coaches. Number one, you're not going to get it. Now, to some extent, with Mario being in his hometown and being at the place that he wants to coach at and a place that he was and a place they graduated, yeah, you're going to get loyalty from him. But every single turn and every single little thing that you did, and you preached and you bitched and you moaned about, not even preach, but you just bitched and moaned about Lane Kiffin, all of these coaches are doing it. You're public enemy number one for clicks. Trust me, Lane being here doesn't suck for my business. I promise you that right now. But right now, you're sending shockwaves through the entire college football atmosphere. And not only that, you're sending shockwaves around all of football being able to pull off a move in what you did today in getting Sam Levitt and then landing Hassan Longstreet. I thought people wouldn't want to play for Lane Kiffin. I thought families didn't want to come in and play for Lane Kiffin. Well, your offense had to be completely rebuilt. And he brought in a damn good wide receiver room. He brought in a damn good quarterback room, which might be the best quarterback room in the country. Everybody keeps complaining about his offensive line. For what it's worth, I know that you say, well, Blake, you can't justify it. Well, here's the truth. You're not done yet. And I still think that you're going to do some good things, because I think that you're still going to get a pair of commits in the next couple of days, maybe within a week, that are along your offensive line, and then you're off to the races, baby. Now what do you got to say? And some of you will say, well, Blake, the way that you're talking sounds like that we are going to go on a playoff run. And I'm not saying that. You got a tough schedule, and it's year one, and you got a lot to rebuild along your offense. But I'd be damned if you haven't pushed teams in lockers, which should get you excited about all of this. All of this is that finally you're able to strut your shit and get out there and show what this place can be. I'm a peacock. You got to let me fly. You know, you've been a peacock and you're showing all your feathers. All right, we ain't been able to fly. This is what the real LSU looks like. You know, we posted a video today on Twitter. Harrison Valentine shared it. And Lane Kiffin in his introductory press conference said this: we're going to bring in the best players from around the country to play at LSU. We're going to bring the most talented staff in the country to coach at LSU. And in doing all that, it starts right here inside the state of Louisiana. Boom, shakalaka. Because you're doing it. You retain your defensive staff. You bring in Ole Miss's offensive staff. And off to the races you have gone. Everyone keeps talking to me about Sam Levitt's injury. Oh, well, Blake, what if Sam Levitt he's not able to come back? Our good buddy Brandon Taylor, who I grew up with, stated today, hey, man, I had a Liz Frank injury, and I came back, and my best season was 2011. Yeah, how did Brandon Taylor do at safety that year? And even, God forbid that happen, you got one of, if not one, what I think is the guy that's got the highest floor in all of this, and Hassan Longstreet sitting right behind him. Right behind him. Your future is already starting to be written for you, and Lane Kiffin ain't been here for a month and a half. He ain't been here a month and a half. He's dominating this, y'all. They can say whatever they want. They can do whatever they want. But here's the real truth. We're back. We're back, department. I'd like to file a claim. You're going to do great things with this. You're going to do great things with Lane. I got to be real with you. Last night we talked about this, and when Lane sent out the tiger emoji, I came out in here and gave a look. I'm like, hey, man, they're fighting. Today on the members-only content, it's like, hey, man, they feel good about it, but they're fighting. Then they come out about an hour and a half later, and the news drops. Here we go. Here we go. And you land him. So an absolutely fantastic day. And by the way, you're not done yet because you're going to continue to go after some offensive linemen. And speaking about that, we will get into that tonight. Everyone do me a favor by hitting a like and share. Share to all those groups if you're on Facebook and to all those social media pages. You're watching us, listening to us on YouTube. Like, subscribe, notification bell, wherever you listen to podcasts. Rate, review, and subscribe. Every AYS show is brought to you by our good friends over at FanDuel. Download the FD Sportsbook app today. Use your mobile device in doing so. You got the College Football Playoff National Championship that is coming up this Monday. You can place your bet. Do you think it's going to be Indiana or Miami? I'm kind of leaning Miami in the points here. A lot of people call me crazy, but I am leaning Miami and the points. So you can place that bet with our good friends over at FanDuel. The National Football League's playoff is going on. You want to place bets on the NFL, you can do that as well with our good friends over at FanDuel. Listen, set your preferences on there. Go to FanDuel.com/RG, reliable gambling, and you can set all those preferences. And if you have any thoughts, questions, concerns, you could do it there as well. LSU's up 9 right now. Actually, not 9. They're up 7 now. They're up 7 on Kentucky. We're monitoring that. I'm gonna continue to go live until they can show me that they can win games inside the SEC. They win tonight. They win their next one. Maybe we'll start altering times here. Blake Tillman became a member on the YouTube channel. Thank you so much. I greatly appreciate it. Spec Man, who's been a member, probably one of the first members, but a member for 4 months now, it says, watching you today in the Philippines. Good to have you in here. Spec Man has gifted a lot of you memberships on the YouTube channel, and he's watching us from the Philippines. You got to love it. Known all around the world. AYS is being watched all around the world. Good to have you in here, Spec Man. Get Gooder with a $10 super chat says, we're back. LSU swagger. We are back. You're going to get there. And listen, you got a lot of work to do to get there, too. You're not just back because you brought all this in. You got a lot of work you got to get into, and I think you're going to do it. And I think you have the ability to do it. And so it's going to be fun. You got a long way to go. Got a lot of things you need to do, but you're starting to inch there. And listen, next year is going to be fun, man. It's going to be fun. This offseason is going to be long, but we have so many talking points that we got to get into in reference to that. Spectrum Well Care says we need some offensive linemen. We're going to get some. We're going to get some. We'll talk about the offensive line here today. Gavin with a $5 super chat with a, I don't know what that emoji technically you call it, like the huff emoji. Some purple and gold hearts and a tiger. Good to have you in here, and thank you so much for the super chat. Penn Jones says, I got this hat for Christmas. It says neck something university. I can't say I can't see the middle word, but neck university. That's a badass hat, Penn. Very badass. I was talking to Lee and Elena today. We're going to be pushing some merch out here soon, so it's going to be fun. Be on the lookout for that. We're shooting for the 15th. We're not going to get to the 15th, but we got a lot of merch. We're bringing in the samples very soon, and we're going to be launching it very soon. And I think the shirts y'all are going to really like. The hats y'all are going to really like. So I'm looking forward to that too. Little Sully, 1378, became a member on the YouTube channel. We got some. The only thing you have to alter on the members only content today is Hassan Longstreet. We talked about him a good bit. Only thing we said was it hadn't been official yet, but nevertheless, it is now. And we'll talk about that coming out of the break. Matthew with a $5 super chat says, you told us to RELAX. I'll admit I started to get nervous. Won't doubt you again, Blake. STTDB. So listen, the thing about me coming out here or tweeting it or saying whatever with the RELAX, because people were like, it's been 72 hours and you don't have a quarterback. It's been 72 hours and you only have 2 commits. Good Lord. It's like this is like the first time that y'all have gone through the portal. Guys, Jay Johnson, as an example, last year before the national championship run, had 0 commits for the first 7 days. How did he do? He went out and got a guy in Danny Dickinson, went out and got a guy in Anthony Ianson. Yeah, they did. They weren't any good. Went out and got a guy named Zach Cohen. Yeah, whatever. Trying to think. Went out and got a guy in Chris Stanfield. Yeah, he didn't have a base hit to win your national championship game. Trying to think. Brazzy was already here. Luis Hernandez, for the love of God. I mean, like, Luis Hernandez didn't have the play of the century, even though Arkansas screwed it up, but he had a piss rocket at the left fielder. I mean, and so, like, have y'all, it's like y'all hadn't gone through this at all ever. Guys, I knew what they were doing behind the scenes. Now, today was a little bit crazy. Like we've been talking about the last couple of days, they were fighting their asses off, and this little dead period kind of helped them a little bit. And they sold Husan Longstreet and his parents on being here, and it worked, and they won. I've said it a couple times now, but I said it as a joke because I knew that you were just going to be fun. Regardless of how it all shook out, I'm never going to worry about Lane Kiffin and quarterbacks, ever. I'm just not going to ever worry about Lane Kiffin on offense. When you hire him, because he hasn't had a bad offense anywhere he's gone. You think that starts now? You think that he has bad quarterback production now? You think that happens now? Like, what are we doing? Like, it is appalling to me that people just looked past that, right? Like, I can't, it blows my mind. It really does. Now, we'll talk about some offensive linemen tonight when we get to it. All right, last one, we got to get rolling. Stephen Young with a $5 super chat says, Ole Miss fans are so delusional that they're saying Lane paid Ty Simpson to say that Ole Miss was after him. I mean, come on. That is so far-fetched. And listen, I don't know if any of these rumors that are flying around Ole Miss are true. I don't know if you saw them, but there's a lot of like social media buzz that some of the old players are mad that some of the new players are making more money. Welcome to the Austin Thomas special. I have no way to verify any of that. But if it is, then, guys, Pete's going to go through some problems. I cannot wait for September 19th. Just can't wait for it. All right, let me get rolling here. Let's come back and we'll talk about Husan Longstreet. We'll talk about the commitment there. Lane Kiffin tweeted out another tiger emoji, not in reference to Hassan Longstreet. So we'll talk about that as well. Some offensive linemen that you're going to try to bring in here and get commitments from. And if you get them, are you pretty settled along your offensive line here? So we'll talk about that. Everyone do us a favor, hit the like and share. Do me a favor, by the way. We're trying to get to 20,000 subs. We're about 3,000 away. Do us a favor. So many of you tell me that you think that you're subscribed to the channel. Just check down below and make sure that you're subscribed. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell. We greatly appreciate you being a part of the show. But do us a favor. Hit that subscribe button down below. Tell all your friends about it. We greatly appreciate you doing that. Let me get to a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk about Hassan Longstreet, all of this and what it means, why I think it's just a significant deal about being able to land him. Can he battle his way to being the starter? Who really knows? We'll talk about all that next. Stay with us.
He will sell your house and find you a new. Well, Tyler's the man, he's here for you. If you want to buy or sell, well, it's not too late. Dial 955-0008. Just call 955-0008. Y'all call Tyler, he'll shoot you straight.
Hey guys, I want to tell you about our good friends over at Red Stick Financial. They're your local residential mortgage broker located right here in the heart of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. At Red Stick Financial, they find the bank that works for your particular set of needs to purchase the home of your dreams or refinance the current one. They truly are your partners in this process, and they pride themselves in helping individuals and families with one simple goal in mind, and that is to make home financing approachable, attainable, and stress-free. They are licensed in all Louisiana, Texas, and Mississippi. So from Amarillo to Meridian and everything in between, they have you covered. Red Stick Financial brings you creative, customized solutions, and they don't believe in the one-size-fits-all when it comes to loans. They even have special options for mobile and manufactured homes located in a flood zone and stated income financing for those of us who are self-employed borrowers. If you or someone you know is looking to buy a home, refinance an existing mortgage, or simply want to know what options are out there for your future, give Red Stick Financial a call today at 225-407-9250. That's 225-407-9250. Or check them out online at redstickfinancial.com. That's redstickfinancial.com. Before you purchase the home of your dreams or you go and do that refinance, you need to go local. Go Red Stick. We're back. Checking in on the men's basketball game. They're up 59-52 with 9 minutes and 20 seconds left. I hope they're able to hold on. I like Matt McMahon a lot, man. I really, really, really do. Kentucky's a really bad basketball team. Hopefully they're able to figure it out here, and he's able to put it all together. Who knows? There's a couple of ways I didn't say this. A couple of ways you can get involved in the show. You can become a member on the YouTube channel. You can send in super chats. You can just subscribe and start commenting. We greatly appreciate all of you that do that. But we will read all of those comments here at the end. So if you want to get involved in the show, that is the way to do it. Do us a favor and hit the like and share. All right, let's get rolling here. So LSU got a massive commitment today from Hassan Longstreet, the former five-star that was at USC this past season where he redshirted. He did, however, play in 4 games. So we got to see Hassan Longstreet in some mop-up duty when he backed up Jaden Mayava at USC, the former five-star who has all the abilities. You know, over the last couple of days, probably last week or so, I've been very vocal about what I believe and what I've seen in Hassan Longstreet. Guys, I think he is a 5-tool quarterback. I think he's got a big arm. I think he can be really accurate. He is very mobile. He makes really good decisions. He's very instinctive. The question's going to be when he's going to be a starter. Can he put it all together? Can he make a lot of really good decisions, be accurate and all that? What comes with being a really good starter. And I think the interesting thing in all of this about the LSU quarterback position and getting a massive commitment today and signing of Hassan Longstreet is this. Number one, you pulled off the unthinkable in signing Hassan Longstreet. So you bring in Sam Leavitt with all of that chaos, and you bring in Landon Clark. So the question then became, is there any chance whatsoever that you were going to land Hassan Longstreet? Seemed like a long shot. Seemed as if that there was no chance in hell that you were going to be able to bring him in. Because the sentiment had been that he wanted to go somewhere and be a starter. He wanted to go somewhere and play, which most highly talented and former five-star guys want to do, and they want to do right away. So bringing him in is not only a massive win from a PR standpoint, but it's a massive win because you have one of the most talented quarterbacks in the country that now can potentially sit behind Sam Leavitt, and then you go into next season and you have a future with Hassan Longstreet in one of the most talented guys in the country. You grabbed two top 5 quarterbacks in the transfer portal, and Sam Leavitt, who was at number 1, and Hassan Longstreet, that was at number 5. So what did they do? What did LSU do here behind the scenes? Number one, they told him the truth. Listen, Sam Leavitt's going to come in here and be the starter, be here for a year, move on. He wants to go to the NFL, and then this is your show. Do you come in here and you're the starter for our offense at LSU and Lane Kiffin and building into the future? Now, some will say, well, you could have basically done that at USC, which they're not wrong. But this is a little bit different. You're doing it at LSU with Lane Kiffin and everything that he's bringing in, with all of the money and the push that they're going to have and want to spend on the offensive side of the football. But the most intriguing thing for me in this is two things. It's obviously the inevitable of how in the world are, number one, you able to convince a guy who could be a starter at a lot of places. Now, I think there were some places and things that were limited to him, but he could have easily taken a look at Tennessee. He could have easily taken a look at Miami before signing with you, but he didn't because of the sell job that Lane Kiffin and company were able to give him. And I'm sure that money did not hurt that factor either in what LSU did there, but you did it. So now you have a situation where Sam Leavitt, the number one quarterback and the guy that I'm sure that everyone would project as your starter, is going into an offseason and in an offseason and going into a spring with a Liz Frank injury where it's likely that he may miss majority of it, if not all of it. So now you have two quarterbacks, number one in Landon Clark and number two Hassan Longstreet, that you get to see the entire spring and battle this out. You get to be in a situation where, hey man, if Hassan Longstreet has a massive spring, which has been a very big focal point for Lane Kiffin, Nick Savage, and Billy Glasscock about, you're going to have to go through one of the toughest springs that you've ever gone through in your entire life because we are going to be a very physical football team, and you better get with it or you're not going to play here. But now you get to see Hassan Longstreet take an entire spring, and you get to see your future in front of your eyes. You get to see the guy who not only could be the future for you next season, but could he even make a move now? I think the upside for Hassan Longstreet, I have been vocal before, even though Sam Leavitt had signed. When Sam Leavitt had signed, I said this. So I had no benefit in saying it other than this moment right now. I think the upside of him versus every quarterback that you talk to, maybe not named Damon Williams, because I think Damon Williams is also very special. The upside of Hassan Longstreet is astronomical. Big arm, accurate, mobile, run, tough, really well built, can make a lot of the big-time throws, can be in a great system with Lane Kiffin, and they can put him in all of the right situations, and he's just a great, smart athlete in every single little thing that he does. The upside is absolutely out of this world. And I think things are funny on how things work out. You know, a couple of seasons ago, the same class that Bryce Underwood was in. Well, you miss on Bryce. And then yet you're sitting here this season with another 5-star quarterback from that class. So now you go into a spring, and look, let's just call it what it is. You paid the kid to be here because he has the chance to be your future. And look, he's got a very talented and very hungry quarterback behind him and Landon Clark, who both of them are going to battle it out, going both into a new system to battle this thing out. And if Landon Clark beats him, he beats him. But what Husan Longstreet does is something that we have not seen at the quarterback position at LSU in a minute. And I say in a minute over the last couple of years. The game that he has is vastly different than Garrett Nussmeier. And I think he's got just as big of an arm as Garrett, but he's also a little bit more accurate, makes better decisions. Oh, by the way, he's mobile. So you're taking all of that and just giving him legs. You're going to see your future right in front of your face. What I was told and why over the last couple of days we've talked about him and the upside and talk about everything, I know that Lane Kiffin and Charlie Weiss and everybody sees what we have been discussing. I know this for a fact. They see the massive upside of what he can be. Say Sam Levitt comes in here and balls out and goes to the NFL. Well, then it's his show. And I think that is the ultimate plan. You never know what's going to happen 12 months from now. 12 months from now, the young man might enter the portal for all that we know. Sam Levitt could come back for his last season, and Longstreet wants to play, wants to start. You never know what's going to happen there. Or Sam Levitt could ball out, go completely bananas, go to the draft, be a first-round pick, and then it is his. Or what is also very significant is you bought yourself a massive insurance policy. The massive insurance policy that you just bought was, God forbid Sam Levitt and his foot is not in a position where it needs to be. Well, Hassan Longstreet, your backup. Potentially 2 first-round quarterbacks are on your roster now. You've knocked this out of the park. I keep hearing everybody talk about the portal king, the portal king, the portal king. Oh, Pete Golding was the reason that Lane Kiffin was the quote-unquote portal king. What about now? What about now? So zip your lips, shut your gums, because the Rock is here. Either way, the portal king is just doing what the portal king does. Getting in a room, dominating with guys, because money's just money at this point. Oh, this team's going to give you money. We'll match it, give you a little bit more. It's him winning in the living room, so to speak, getting in front of the parents of Hassan Longstreet, Charlie Weiss getting in front of the parents, Dane Stevens getting in front of the parents, Billy Glasscock getting in front of the parents and saying, this is why you should come here. And they won. And in the massive insurance policy, God forbid something happened with Sam Levitt, you had a quarterback that got injured this year in Garrett Nussmeier. Boy, I'm glad to have him. And I say that in a 1-year sample size of an insurance policy because this kid could come in here and challenge everybody and it'd be undeniable, completely undeniable. Look, Sam, I know we gave you a lot of money. I get all of that. But this kid, Hassan Longstreet, is coming here in the spring and the fall and dominated, and he won the job flat out. Competition is competition. And you arguably have the best quarterback room in the entire country. You know, some will say, well, Blake, it's Ole Miss with Deuce Knight and it's in Trinidad Chambliss. Are you 1,000% confident that Trinidad Chambliss is going to be on the roster next year for Ole Miss? Now, if they can't win that lawsuit in a Mississippi courtroom, they don't deserve to play football in general. Just being completely blunt with you there. But I think that they're going to win that. I think that they're going to go into a Mississippi court and file a temporary restraining order and win. So I expect Trinidad Chambliss to win this thing and him to be there. But, guys, you got the number 1 and number 5 quarterbacks in the transfer portal. A guy that Lane thinks in Sam Levitt that is going to be healthy and can fit in his system and is going to go off. And now you got Hassan Longstreet, who everybody sees the talent and the ability. The upside is astronomical. and it's your future. Oh, and by the way, next season, you got Pop Houston that's coming in as well. You're setting yourself up that now you can go to Royal from New Orleans, the number one receiver in the country, who's in the city of New Orleans, and say, hey, bro, what up? So this is your home school. We got you the money, and we got the best quarterbacks. We're building at wide receiver. We're going to build on the offensive line. What up? You're setting yourself up for greatness. And all of that starts in the quarterback room. In reference to him this spring, what I am really intrigued to see is, number one, how quickly can he learn this offense? Number two, just how well does he do, I should say. And does Landon Clark push him to any extreme? Competition's going to bring out greatness. And it's going to be fun to watch. I think Husan Longstreet, from a talent perspective, you could have made the argument as an athlete, as an overall quarterback, you can make the argument that down the line, maybe not right now, but down the line, you look back and say, yeah, that kid was the best player in the portal that year. I think he's got that level of ability. So we'll see, and it's going to be very, very, very fun. I wish I could come out here and say something that's classy and inspirational, but I am at a loss for words. I am at a loss for words about LSU and what they just did with Lane Kiffin and Charlie Weiss and Billy Glasscock and bringing in these two quarterbacks. I expected them to do a lot of really good things in the transfer portal. I expected them to go out and get a really good quarterback. What I didn't expect is for you to land 2 of the top 5. 2 out of the top 5? That's like going to the bar, finding a 10, landing a 10, and then being at the bar with her, looking to your right, seeing another 10, convincing them both that they should come home with you, and it happens. That happened to me all the time. I'm just saying. Happened to me all the time. But it's exactly how you compare it. You convince both of them. And listen, here's another thing. You ain't ever spent money like this either. We told you something the other night. What gets me the most excited, and I think I said this with Bryce Kuhn, maybe not on this, on AYS as much. The thing that gets me probably the most excited was when all the shit that went down with Sam Leavitt, like all of the craziness, and then you didn't know if he was committing. You had Hassan Longstreet. Well, then Sam Leavitt winds up committing, and all of that happens. Well, Hassan Longstreet was on campus. Guys, he was on campus. Hassan Longstreet was looking at houses when all of that went down. And you were able to tell him the truth and land him. But going into Tennessee, spending the money that you needed to spend to be exactly where you are, that's the part in this that LSU just had not been doing. Like, I look at Alabama, I think Alabama's in trouble. I do. They're not spending the money. They better have hit on a lot of dudes. You don't go out there and spend money, guys, quite frankly, you're just not going to win. There has been no better example of this than a guy that's already been on your campus for years. What has Jay Johnson done since he walked on campus? He has raised money. He has spent money. He has brought in some of the most talented players in the entire country to play for you, and you've won 2 out of the last 3 national titles. The blueprint of how to win in today's game, well, Blake, that's baseball, and this is football. The name of the game is the same when it comes down to the principles of the matter. Raise the money, spend the money, bring in the best athletes, go out there and win. It's exactly what Saban did. He spent money, he brought in the best athletes, and he won. He won. When you bring in the most talented players, normally you're going to win. Normally you're going to win. Whether it's in-state talent or not. It's absolutely fantastic, man. Look, I think you got a future first-round guy in Sam Levitt. I think you got a potential future first-round guy in Husan Longstreet. I think that, guys, this is going to get me in trouble because there's a lot of people that hate when I say stuff like this. I think both of them are better than Garrett Nussmeier. I think both of them will be better than Garrett Nussmeier. I think they already are. I think they already were. In today's game, you got to have a quarterback that can be mobile. You just do. And Garrett made really bad decisions. And you're going to have to go through some growing pains. Like early on, everybody trying to learn this, you're going to have to go through a growing pain with Sam Levitt because he's learning all this too. You're going to have to go through a growing pain with Hassan Longstreet, who's got deep Louisiana ties, by the way. But Garrett had 5 years, man, and he kept making the same mistakes. I can live with a freshman quarterback or a guy that's never started making those mistakes. What I can't live with is constantly rolling out right or rolling out left, I should say, and spinning around and having a sack and losing you a game. That I can't take anymore. Guys, you have upgraded drastically at the quarterback position. One of these guys would have made your room better than it was last year. Just being blunt. Just one of them. But even your third string dude or a guy that can make a move, and who knows what Landon Clark could do? Who knows? Your room is the most talented it's ever been in quite some time. I guess you could say maybe since 2023, but I think it could be more talented. And Jaden's a big part of that. But Garrett, I just think, Garrett, these guys are going to be better than Garrett was because of Lane and what you do and their overall skill set. So it is what it is there. Lane Kiffin did tweet out during the show last night a tiger emoji, but he tweeted out another one today. Who is that going to be? Who is that? Well, we'll talk about some of the guys that you're targeting in the transfer portal, and we will do that next. Let me get to a quick break. We'll talk about that. Stay with us. Guys, let me tell you about our good friends over at Grand Slam Heating and Air, where your comfort is their top priority. At Grand Slam Heating and Air, they promise to provide customers with high-quality HVAC service at an affordable price while ensuring the homeowner peace of mind. From their office to your home, they guarantee the best hassle-free experience around. Efficiency and comfort is their game. Let them make your home Grand Slam today. At Grand Slam Heating and Air, they're offering their annual maintenance plan starting off at $18.75 a month and also doing those $99 tune-up promotion. They provide free estimates for system and ductwork replacement as well as offering financing to get the job done with no money up front. From Baton Rouge to Hammond, to Covington. They're all around. So what you need to do today, give them a call at 225-380-9065. That's 225-380-9065. Or go over to their website, getgrandslamair.com. That's getgrandslamair.com, where your comfort is their top priority. When your business, your farm, or your equipment needs fuel, you need someone that you can trust. At Crump Fuel, they deliver quality gasoline, diesel, and lubricants with honest service and local pride across South Louisiana and South Mississippi. From construction sites, marinas, convenience stores, and trucking companies, all the way down to generators and everyday operations, Crump Fuel keeps you rolling. Crump Fuel is family-owned and family-operated. With high-quality and dependable delivery, they're always going to bring that competitive pricing. Call Crump Fuel today at 985-229-4976 or visit them over at crumpfuel.com. That's 985-229-4976 or visit them at crumpfuel.com today. Crump Fuel, where they're fueling the Gulf South in the right way. Guys, I want to talk to you about our good friends over the Drake Williams Law Firm and Drake Title Company. Are you facing tough times due to an injury from a car accident, navigating the complexities of divorce, or purchasing a new home? At the Drake Williams Law Firm and Drake Title Company, they understand the challenges you're going through, and they are here to help. The lawyer team of Ernie Drake III, Ryan J. Williams, and Summer Vignair, along with Morgan Daniels, have the experience and proven track record to give you that peace of mind. Give them a call today at 985-386-7600. That's 985-386-7600 to schedule a free consultation at their brand new office located in historic downtown Ponchatoula. They're also doing a special, the AYS special. If you're refinancing or closing on a home in Southeast Louisiana, request the Drake Title Company to handle your closing. If you mention Blake Ruffino and AYS, you're going to receive a $400 discount on title fees. Again, give them a call at 985-386-7600. Let them know that Blake Ruffino sent you on by. Guys, you might know my good friend Carol Falls and all the great service that he provides over at State Farm. He is your good neighbor after all. But did you know State Farm has surprisingly great rates as well? Along with the great neighbor service, State Farm agent Carol Falls has surprisingly great rates for everyone inside the state of Louisiana. So call him today at 985-395-4300, 985-395-4300 for all of those surprisingly great rates on auto, home, and life insurance needs. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there, and individual premiums will vary by customer. All applicants subject to the State Farm underwriting requirements. We're back. If Matt McMahon loses this game, good Lord. Good Lord. They're tied at 72. I mean, goodness gracious. Goodness gracious. I don't know if he makes it through the season. I really don't. This Kentucky team is god-awful, and you just lost a 12-point lead to them, and you're getting your teeth kicked in this second half. You got a minute left to go, and they're tied at 72, and they're going to run the clock all the way down. I mean, how ass can you be? And I already hear it. I already know it. I guess we could talk about it. I mean, God forbid they lose. I know Verge Alsbury talked about this. I know the sentiment's going to bring back Will Wade. I just think that there's other coaches that are just as capable to win games at LSU, not named Will Wade. But look, it's, there's a lot of rumors behind the scenes, and not really rumors. Like, this got reported that, a big problem with why Scott Woodward got fired is that he did not want to bring back Will Wade, and ultimately it got him pushed out the door. So that is going to be a massive talking point here. It's going to be a massive talking point. And so I'm fully aware of this going on. I'll just say this. People have asked me all the time, why don't you cover basketball? Well, we definitely tweet and talk about, at least not on here, but when time warrants it, like the women's basketball team, because they're winning. I'm just not going to – we're not going to spend a whole lot of time when you're getting your teeth kicked in. I refuse to do it. Why would I do it? I would do that for baseball, yes. People have called me out for that. I will do that for baseball. I am not doing that for basketball because I always just feel like baseball-wise, you have a chance to do it. All right, let's get to it here. I see a lot of super chats that are flying in. If you want to get involved in the show, send in a super chat or become a member, and we will get to those very, very soon. So, Jay Johnson did not send out a Tiger tweet today. Lane Kiffin sent out a Tiger tweet today. So, both Portal Kings, I see Jay Johnson and Lane Kiffin meeting for the first time and shaking hands and like, Portal King? And then the other one goes, Portal King? And then meeting next to one another and saying, oh, well, we're both the Portal King in our respective sports. So we will wait on the true announcement of who that's going to be. But here's what I tell you. So a lot of things going on with the offensive line. Let's start off with this. If you were on the members-only content, you kind of know where this one's going a little bit, but it's where LSU is focusing at the current moment. Number one, Sean Tompkins is a guy who was a left tackle at Baylor. And he is going to be taking a visit tomorrow in Baton Rouge for LSU. I expect that LSU wants to move on this one very quickly. You need a starting left tackle. He is committed to North Carolina. He has not signed with North Carolina. And LSU needs a left tackle. Do I think that if there's a chance that you don't get him, That you do something else there at left tackle? Yes. But you need a guy with experience that can play and fit inside your system. Tompkins is that guy. So tomorrow, I would assume that when we come in here, you and I are going to have conversations about how did the visit go? When is he here? Are you able to land him? And I do think that they want to move on this one very quickly. They want to get the flip and they want to get the commitment from him because you need a left tackle. If you were able to get that, I could see a world where maybe it's not your solid entire offensive line. Maybe meaning like, I don't know if that this is where your offensive line will end. But if you're able to land him, you have a left tackle. Who do you place at left guard? Are you able to land Devin Harper? Do you put Jacoby Jones there? You got Braylon Moore returning. Does Satterwhite start taking some reps? You got 48 hours basically to hold on to Solomon Thomas. And I'm just going to say I'm waiting for that announcement to come or the portal close. But you got Solomon Thomas, who was the number one interior offensive lineman in the country coming into last year. And then you have Weston Davis, who, guys, whether you want to hear this or not, the truth of the matter is when this staff came in, this defensive staff was the ones that told them that they think that he has the highest upside of all the guys that were there. And a lot of guys left. And they were able to hold on to Weston Davis because, look, what you can't teach with Weston Davis is the motor and the physicality that sometimes he did play with. You know, he almost killed Brian Kelly on the sidelines this year. Got to get better in pass pro. Got to do some bigger things. I'm holding on a lot of hope for Weston Davis. I think Weston Davis has the ability to play. I think that he can play and that they're going to be able to utilize him here. The question is going to be, who is going to be that left tackle? What do you do with Darren Stride? Do you try to move Darren Stride inside? Can he play left guard? Can you be, how do I want to say this? Can you utilize him in a utility role? Those will be the questions that we will see here. But Tompkins is going to be in on a visit tomorrow. I fully expect that we're going to talk about him a lot as this process plays out here. Let's talk about Devin Harper for just a moment. So the former Captain Shreve, I'm pretty sure it was Captain Shreve or Calvary Baptist, whichever one. Maybe it was Calvary Baptist. Pretty sure it was Calvary Baptist. But North Louisiana native Devin Harper, I'm not sure if he completely signed. I don't know if everybody knows that he completely signed because Ole Miss people are reporting that he did. They made an announcement. They took the announcement away. He's playing near the end of the portal. I think he's 100% a guy that you're going to go after and that you are after. There is a opinion and thought that the Tiger tweet was about him and landing him in the portal. Guys, I think he could flat out play. He's a guy that can play guard for you. He's a guy that can play tackle for you. He can do both of them, and he's nasty. And he already knows Lane's system. You don't have to teach him, and he's somebody that can come in, and if you need to try to get some reps at a left guard position, he can instantly do it. He knows the system and what he needs to do because he's been with Charlie, he's been with Lane, and it's a massive addition for you in him trying to be the guy that comes in and solidifies one of these roles. He's a former top 150 player. I think that he could come in here and push for playing time immediately. I think he is that talented. And if you're able to land Tompkins, you're able to land Harper, you start looking at this offensive line. Is it the sexy one that all of you wanted? Maybe not. And you're going to have a lot of questions. Well, I'm going to have a lot of questions along this offensive line. But you bring both of them in, I think that they have a really solid room. You still got Jacoby Jones, who this staff is massively high on, and that they think that can play, and that they think that can play at a very high level. So the Tiger tweet got sent out, and I'm assuming that we are going to have conversations about that in the very, very, very near future, if not by tomorrow. So we'll see. Sidebar, 1.9 seconds left to go. LSU gets a rebound on a missed free throw, and they get the rebound. So if they're able to hit a couple of free throws here, they might hold on and beat Kentucky. Back to Devin Harper. So maybe we'll have to start adjusting some times here if they're going to win some SEC basketball games. Come on, Matt. Come on. Finish this thing. I really like Matt McMahon. I really do. He's a good guy. But good guys don't win football or basketball games. To finish out with Devin Harper here. I like him at guard. I think he is a guard. I know that he can play tackle. Played on the left side of the offensive line for them. I think that they really think that they got a gem in him, and that's why Lane came into Louisiana and got him last year. So we'll see how that one unfolds. You went after Delano Townsend, the starting left guard at Ole Miss. Well, he re-signs with Ole Miss and is going to stay there. I think you got an interesting situation at guard. You got a very high talented guy in Solomon Thomas there. Do you land on a Devin Harper? Can he move inside? Do you look at Darren Stride there in another role? That will be the question. That will be the question. All right, a quick sidebar. Did we just miss both free throws? Did we literally just miss both free throws? Oh, good sweet Jesus. LSU is up 74-73 with 1.9 seconds left to go in the game here. Did we just miss both free throws? Chad, did we just miss both three? Good sweet Jesus. If they lose this game, y'all going to see me flash out right here in front of your eyes. This is why I don't do live reactions, because I flash out. How do you miss two free throws? How do you miss two free throws? You don't deserve to win this game. You don't deserve to win it. Kentucky sucks ass. They're a horrible basketball team. They are cheeks. You know, when you see a garbage truck pick up a dumpster and put the trash in the back and you got all the juice that flies out, that's how ass they are. That's how juicy ass they are. Good Lord. All right, let's just hold off here. I see Royal says that's not coaching. Yeah, it's not. I mean, but it's also coaching because you didn't bring a player in that can hit a free throw. I mean, this is the team that he brought in. He's had a – come on, man. Come on. Oh, shit. No fucking way. No fucking way. Are you kidding me? This is why you got to hit your free throws. What a joke. What an outright joke. Kentucky sucks ass. And they had to throw a Hail Mary pass, catch it, turn around, 1.6 seconds left, and hit a shot. And they just beat you. They're going to get it. They're going to get it. So you got the inbounds pass, the catch. Oh, and it goes through your hands. It went through his hands. You could have intercepted the pass, and he turns around and hits it. That's ball game. Guys, listen. With what just happened with LSU right now, with men's basketball and how you just lost that game, Matt McMahon better pick it up, man. He better pick it up. This team better pick it up for him because they're about his fate's about to be in some real jeopardy. How did that just happen? How in the hell did that just happen? Are you kidding me? You have a chance to go up by 3. You miss both free throws and you lose by 1 at a buzzer beater when they had to throw the ball in there from 2/3 down the court, turn around, catch it first which you could have intercepted the pass. They turn around and they hit the shot, a mid-range jumper. This team is so freakingly bad coach, man. So freakingly bad coach. I mean, this is pathetic. I like Matt. I like him a lot. That's pathetic. That's bullshit. That's unexcusable. That's unexcusable. How does that happen? Listen, man, we're going to move on here because we got some other things that we need to talk about. Verge about to have to make another decision. And listen, let me just tell you what's about to happen. If Matt McMahon and LSU basketball doesn't start figuring this thing out like now, and I'm talking about right now, Matt's going to get let go. He's going to get let go. And you know what the talking points are going to be. You know the guy that's going to be on everybody's mind when you're talking about another coaching carousel. It's Will Wade. It's going to start with Will Wade, and it's going to end with Will Wade. All the rumors that were out there in reference to Scott Woodward losing his job because people wanted him that had a lot more power than him, clearly, wanted Will Wade back. They wanted him to move on from Matt McMahon. He refused to move on from Matt McMahon. They wanted to bring Will Wade back. He refused to do it. It's going to be the beginning and end in all of this. And there's going to be a lot of pressure on Verge from the powers that be to go back and get Will Wade. Wade Roos was the president at McNeese when Will Wade was at McNeese. You already have a connection there. So you better prepare for it. But if they don't pick this up, if they do not pick this up, then Matt's going to get fired. The question is does he make it through the entire season? Because that can't happen. You're now 0-4 in the league. 0-4 in the league. Oops, big ball are all – who's this? Oops, all blitz. Brother, y'all's basketball teams suck and you're Kentucky. Coming here and trolling. We're not a basketball school. We'll see in football where we going to literally pull your pants down and smack your candy ass. You're a nothing burger. You're not making it to the tournament either. With that being said, look, I hate it for Matt. Matt's a really good guy, but this is awful. The way that you lost tonight to Kentucky was god-awful. And Verge said as much. Look, if we don't make the tournament, we'll reevaluate where we are and we'll move from there. Well, you're probably not going to make the tournament, and the number one person that everyone's going to talk about and want back at LSU, you know it and I know it, it's going to be Will Wade. All right. Let's move on here. Golly. By the way, let me just say this. Before we move on, you went and raised a lot of money for this team. Dean Thomas better go full Superman. He better go full Superman to save Matt McMahon. That's all that I know. He ain't going to, but goodness gracious. Look, he's had some injury problems, and it's been some bad luck, and you didn't give him money, but, I mean, man, that's not an excuse. Jay Johnson went and raised his own money. It's not an excuse. There's no excuses. Zero excuses. The first 2 years, yeah, because you had to rebuild this thing after Wade trashed it. But Will Wade's going to be on the front of the minds of everybody in that building. Bring back Will Wade. That's what we're going to hear from all of you. All right, let's wrap this up on guys that we're watching. So it was announced today by Matt Zenitz of 247 Sports that tight end and H-back out of Oregon, Zach Grace, 6'3", 240 pounds, who played 24 games for the University of Oregon, is going to be taking a visit to LSU this Thursday, so tomorrow. A lot of people kind of scratch their head. You're going after another tight end. No. A guy that also played a lot of special teams. You're kind of going after a guy that can do multiple things here. A guy that can block, a guy that can be a utility guy and catch the ball out of the backfield. He's a guy that played running back for Oregon. Didn't have a lot of stats, didn't really do a lot. So when you look at Zach Grace, he was more of a fullback role in today's game. So you go and look at him in Oregon and what he did at Oregon over the last couple of years. He played in 24 games, played a lot of snaps in that H-back, fullback, tight end level role. Now, in the last 5 games, he played in all of them. I mean, did not record a stat in any category other than just playing the game, but he played running back. He played fullback. He played tight end, was a big-time blocker. This is a guy that you bring in as a utility piece and a Kyle Juszczyk type of role to some extent, not to that high level of extent. But, guys, Lane wants to be very, very unique and do a lot of different things offensively. Like, I think of an example, like the Oklahoma game last year, he brought in 2 defensive linemen and he went a direct snap to Kywin Lacy, and they scored a touchdown, and they had 2 fullbacks in the game. Both were defensive linemen. I don't know if Zach Grace doesn't give you an ability. They definitely see a vision for him of what they can do to help you in the run game, to pave lanes, 6'3", 240 pounds, that Oregon used to kind of pave the way for some big runs for them. He played in 24 games in 2 seasons, guys. He could come in here and do that. I'm going to say this. You land as Zach Grace and everybody's going to be like, why are you doing this? Well, I think it makes a lot of sense for based on how Lane wants to do some things, especially in the red zone when it comes to the run game. He's a very unique piece. And let me tell you this here. If you were to land him for some questions and some people that I asked today, Lane might freak out because he likes having these versatile guys that he can plug and play and utilize to help him in the run game and do some unique things with. So Zach Grace out of Oregon is going to be getting a visit to LSU tomorrow. I would really keep my eyes on there. I think Lane just likes this level of stuff. And again, I keep bringing this up. The 105, people keep saying, why would you give a guy like that a visit? The 105 scholarship limit, man. I'm going to keep preaching it. I'm going to keep preaching it until it hits home. So he's another guy. Last but not least, before we get to Super Chats, there is a question that I have been avoiding for the last 10 days. Blake, are you going to bring in a linebacker? Are you going to bring in a linebacker? Are you going to bring in a linebacker? I had Brandon. How many questions did you find on the YouTube chat last night about linebacker? How many? 17? Okay. I have been avoiding the question about if LSU is going to bring in another backer. I think it'd have to be a very unique situation. Here's what I'll say. I'll break my silence on it tonight. I think it'd have to be a very unique situation. Do I think that LSU would say no to another backer in a unique situation? Starter, high caliber, fits what they want to do. There's a lot of things and red tape that they would have to overcome here. I'm telling you, if something were to pop off, I would not they're definitely keeping their eyes open. Let me just say this. They are keeping their eyes open at backer. I have no idea if they're going to land one or really pursue one. If somebody of interest piques Lane Kiffin's interest, you're going to go. You're going to go for one. Do I think over the next 48 hours will be very interesting in reference to the linebacker position if some were to enter? Yes, I do. But I'm going to be very much intrigued to see if a backer enters the portal. But we've been asked this question a lot. I don't know. Here's what I'd say. I don't think Devon Keys has been great in coverage. I don't know if Ty Singleton is ready. I am in the camp that I think C.J. Ross and Jaden Breaker are actually your future. And I think that they can beat out those other two guys. CJ Ross is probably the fastest guy in that room. And I don't like how Keys covers. I think he's great being downhill. He's not great in coverage. If a unique circumstance arose, yes, they would go after a backer. We'll see. We'll see. All right. As we're live on the show yet again. Did Lane just tweet another tiger emoji? He did not. Okay. I saw somebody in the chat say it. This man sees everything. This man sees everything. Keywan Lacey. I know I say his name weird. I think who was that? I was making sure he didn't send. Shanta Smith. Keywan Lacey. Yeah. I mean, I say it weird. All right. Let's get to some super chats here as we move on. General Grievous with a $5 super chat says, this is the first time in a while this year's team is building upon itself, returning starters, high-value portal additions, the Lane Kiffin effect. I completely agree. Again, the Hassan Longstreet, like it is building upon itself. And listen, they're going to get through this portal situation in this portal haul, and then their focus is going to really turn to high school recruiting. They know. They know what they have inside the state of Louisiana. They know. They're not dumb. And I think that their focus will start turning to that. They want to end through this. But, man, you are. And you got a really talented football team. A lot of people will question the offensive line, and we'll see. Can one of these guys like Jordan Ross or Gabe Rutherford, who signed today with LSU officially, can they get to the passer will be a big question. And I hope that this edge room is able to hit. I really, really, really do. Broad 337, our good man out in Hawaii, says, Blake, can I officially talk my shit now? Oh, without a doubt. You can talk your shit. It's time. I think I would personally wait until you get some of these offensive linemen. Personally. But, yeah, you can talk shit. C Murder sends a $5 super chat, says, Lane and Jay on campus, exciting time ahead. The biggest lie that everybody told us is that Lane didn't recruit. And you got guys coming out here saying, look, Lane was around me the whole time. We went and played pickleball. He was always in the facility. He never really left. Well, if that's the truth, then shit. Lane might have been in the facility the last 4 weeks and what Brian Kelly was the last 4 months before he got fired. Very well could be the case. Frankie with a $5 super chat says, just want to say shout out to Verge Osbury, man. He has killed it and deserves so much credit. He has. And we had a segment out there last night about it. He's really killed this. Verge has done fantastic. Now Verge is about to probably, Frankie, be tasked with another objective, and that is going and getting a men's basketball coach, because this is not going well for Matt McMahon. So he's going to have to make two big time hires in less than 2 months, probably 2 or 3 months apart of each other. It's going to be interesting to see. I think that Roos and them are going to want to push for Will Wade, but Verge has done an exceptional job. Again, I've told y'all this. Verge has walked off in those buildings. And listen, here's what people don't understand too. Coaches that were already here were a little bit worried because Scott brought all of them in other than Beth Torina, like what Verge was going to do. And he knows where the bread is buttered. He knows where these big boosters want to spend money. And the first thing that I was told that he did outside of football was go and talk to Jay. Guys, let me tell you something. You can say whatever you want. Whatever you want. Whether you love or hate baseball, here's the truth. You want to piss off some of the old money, like old big-time money, piss off Jay Johnson. I double dog dare you. You're going to be fired quick, fast, and in a hurry. And everybody knows it. It's the biggest kept secret. Listen, I told this story before. So we're at the introductory press conference for Lane Kiffin. And Jay Johnson walks in. Talking to, some of his staff was there too. Just sitting there talking, whatever. And long story short, Jay walks in. And every big name booster that I know that was there and talked to when Jay walked in, everybody stood up and spoke to him. And he went and shook every one of their hands. Piss off Jay and find out what happens. There wasn't a person in that room. There wasn't a person in that stratosphere who didn't want to talk to Jay. You want to piss off the old money? Piss off Jay Johnson. LSU T-Boy with a $2 super chat says LSU definitely has been sus more than not this squad. Well, we gotta see, but Lane has certainly not been sus in the things that he's doing. Brian Pitton became a member on the YouTube channel. Thank you so much, Brian. I greatly appreciate that. Stephen Young with a $5 super chat says if someone on YouTube sets up an interview with Lane Kiffin, Kim Mulkey, and Jay Johnson, the internet might break. Oh, it 1,000% may break. 1,000%. I hope he wants to come on here. Screw those national shows. They keep talking shit and don't want to do it to your face. Jay does it for former players. I don't, and I love Jay. Love him to death. Listen, this TV revenue stuff, I'm not giving men's basketball shit until you can prove that you can win. I'm giving more of it to Jay Johnson. Alex with a $5 super chat says, I was late to the Ruffino and Joe show, but I disagree. In my opinion, based on overall LSU, I was late to the R&J show, but I disagree. In my opinion, based on overall potential, LSU has the number one QB room next season. Thoughts? We never once said that they didn't. There wasn't one time in Ruffino and Joe show or on here that we disagreed with that. Not once. Not that I heard. I didn't hear that once. Who said that? Did Joe say that? I don't remember hearing Joe say that. Austin Jones with a $10 super chat. Do I disagree with that? I think that, yeah, I disagree with that. I think that you right now, because we don't know the status of Chambliss, you can make the argument with Ole Miss, with Chambliss if he returns. You can definitely have that argument. But right now, I think it's LSU. Austin Jones with a $10 super chat says, does LSU have this or Oregon? Or Oregon. You got a lot of them. I would lean LSU, but here's the thing. Hassan Longstreet's never played. Dante Moore has, and it's had more production than Sam Levitt. Sam's hurt. I mean, you can have those. Like, those arguments are going to be had. They're going to be had. Austin Jones with a $10 super chat says, does LSU have this money next year? Lane with another recruiting portal class is going to be insane. Future's looking bright, brother. STTDB. Keep up the great work. Love the show. Thank you so much. Yeah, he's going to have the money. They're not going to give up on him now. He goes out there and wins 10 games and gets you to a playoff. He's going to have more than money. Yeah, I do. I think here's the thing with Lane that people don't realize. Lane doesn't. So Brian really didn't talk to the big boosters. Lane doesn't really have to because people know his personality. And he just goes and says, hey, man, I need this to win. And people are like, okay, I get it. Brian just never really did shit like that. And Scott screwed him. I mean, guys, it is what it is. Chance, who's been a member for a month, says, are you worried about Pop Houston leaving? I am not at the current moment because so he would be a freshman, and I don't think he's thinking that he'll come in and start as a freshman. So if Sam Levitt leaves, Hassan starts, and even if Sam Levitt stays and Hassan leaves, regardless of all of that, I mean, like, he would redshirt his freshman year. He'd be a redshirted freshman, and then he can come in as a redshirted sophomore in his third year. I don't worry about that, and I don't think that he should. I really don't think that he should. Like, if you're going to run away from competition, then you're going to run away. But the portal's been where most of these teams have hit in at quarterback anyway. But I don't think Landon Clark will stay if both of those guys in Longstreet and Levitt stay. Then he's going to want to go play somewhere. So then that'll be your third quarterback. I mean, no, I don't. I have no worry. There. AT is what I'm going to call you. AT with a $5 super chat says, what or was/is Pete Golding a spite hire? Does Ole Miss, their old piss, understand that? Does Mason get pegged by blitz? I don't think he was an in spite of hire. I think it was that they went after John Summerall and missed. Pete Golding was not their first option, guys. Like, it wasn't their first option. It was John Summerall, and they missed, and they blamed Lane for it. Lane never gave you a commitment, and you're blaming him for not going again. I don't think it was a spite hire at all. Royal, who's been a member for 2 months, says, so how much for Nate Oates? Nate Oates isn't leaving Alabama. It's not happening. But you have to pay him probably $7.5 to $10 million plus a year for a basketball coach. He's not leaving. Ice became a member on the YouTube channel. Thank you so much. I greatly appreciate it. He also sends a $5 super chat and says, whatever happened to Taysom Hill 2.0, the Ferris State kid? Yes, so he's from East Lansing and committed to East Lansing, and he's going to Michigan State. They really liked him, man. Just couldn't get him in on a visit. He's a Michigan State kid. He wanted to play for the school that he grew up loving, and good on him for that. But he committed and signed with Michigan State. C. Murder says, what about Moses' kid at linebacker? Haven't seen much from Moses. We'll see what he does in the spring, but he's gotten beaten out so far. Also, Bourbon and Rowe sends 2 super chats, one $2 and another $2. And the second one, he says, is Dylan Carpenter staying? What's your thoughts? Well, unless he enters the portal by Friday, then yeah, he's staying. He's got a battle. I mean, he got some playing time this year and didn't make enough of it. He's going to have to battle. I thought Kalaj Cobbins would enter. I really did. Can Kalaj make a move? If Kalaj Cobbins can make a move, then we'll see. You got some talent there. But if he doesn't enter the portal by Friday, he'll be here. So kid loves LSU. Hopefully he can develop and work himself into some playing time. Stephen Young with a $10 super chat says 25,000 fans in Omaha cheering on LSU baseball beats half an empty PMAC for men's basketball regardless of income. Read the room. You better commit that men's basketball money to baseball. Some of it, yeah, without a doubt. And I mean, you're going to keep funneling money into baseball. And what they did with basketball, how Scott did this because William Tate put a lot of pressure on him to do it. Funny how you hadn't heard a lot about the arena, the new arena. They got to do something to the PMAC, though. They do. It's detrimental. Penn Jones with a $2 super chat says, Joe said Gregor. Maybe he meant Oregon, the best tonight. Yeah, I had to step out for just a moment. I could see his argument there, to be blunt with you. Look, Sam Levitt's hurt. You have never really seen Husan Longstreet play. At least you know what you're getting in Dante Moore, and you know what you're getting in Raiola. I don't think it's a bad take. It's not like outlandish. Guys, that's not outlandish. Just because he didn't say the LSU because you got Longstreet. Longstreet hadn't played. At least you know what you're getting. You're getting a caliber starter in Dylan Raiola as your backup that you've seen do some really good things. What did Dylan Raiola do this year, by the way? I know he got hurt. He had a pretty bad leg break. What was his stats this year? They didn't really beat any big-time teams either. 72.4% completion percentage. He had 2,000 yards in 9 games. He had 18 touchdowns, so he could have had 3 more games. 18 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, and he ran for 0 touchdowns. I don't think that he he's not a bad player either. I don't think that's an outlandish take. Not at all. Would I push back and disagree with him on some because of Lane, Longstreet, and what Levitt and what he could do with the both of them? I think that argument can be made too. P. Foy with a $5 super chat says, I'm thinking we get 2 to 4 more O linemen. Do you think that's accurate? I fall in the middle of that and say 3. I think you're going to try to really push for this Tompkins kid. Do you bring in Devin Harper and maybe one more? Probably. 4, maybe. I mean, I could see that too, depending. But we'll see. We'll see. KYH with a $10 super chat says, do you think we should even try and flip Haven when we have Houston? No, I don't. Not sure if Haven has any LSU interest. Would suck to see him with an SEC rival. Well, Bama's really pushing, so you better get ready. No, I do not. I think Pop fits better for what Lane wants to do anyway. Haven's a really good quarterback, and that sucks. It really sucks. But Haven's mobile enough to do some things. But I think Pop just fits what Lane and them want to do more. I really do. So I think it's a better fit for you at the current moment if Lane is here. LSU T-Boy with a $5 super chat says, I meant Lane LK defense more sus than not. Not this squad, not worried about the offense. Yeah, I mean, Pete had some interesting defenses. I mean, so here's the funny thing. The funny thing is that they blamed Lane for losing in 2024, meaning the offense stunk, so it was Lane's fault that they didn't go to a playoff. The problem in that is that LSU beat you on a last-second throw to Kyron Lacey and Aaron Anderson to tie it. So your defense gave it up. So your defense was the reason that you lost. You didn't give up 1 big passing touchdown to LSU. You gave up 2. Barryon Brown, of all people, made a game-sealing catch for Kentucky, and you lost that game. And then Florida, Jackson Dart just threw too many interceptions, and that was on them. But defensively, Lagway carved them up. Carved them the hell up. So it was more on them just as much, and they blame Lane for it. Stephen Young says, isn't Houston a better fit for Kiffin's offense than Haven? Yes. He 100% is. And I think that it's a better fit for you overall right now. All right. We'll see y'all soon. Y'all have a blessed night. See you tomorrow. I have a feeling we're going to talk about some commits tomorrow. See y'all then. Peace.